everyone, and welcome back to the Little
and Large
Podcast. On the last video you've seen of us, we did mention that we hadn't seen Joker 2 yet, so we couldn't really react to it.
So this episode's going to be about us watching the Joker 2 off screen and reacting on screen for use.
So the very next clip you're going to see of us, we have just watched Joker 2, and you're going to get our raw reactions. See you then.
Well, we're back.
So I said before, I think I said in the last video, it took me 2 or 3 times, or 2 or 3 days after watching the first one to really think if I liked it. I feel like at the beginning you could kind of see the vision, you could kind of see where it was going, and it just tapered off. It become the same old, and I understand. So, for context, in case anyone hasn't seen it, this will be spoilers. So, at the beginning, it starts dark.
Yeah.
And I'm going to speak on points. It starts out very dark. And then the first shining moment is when he sees Harley.
You start seeing the life come back.
Lee. And then he gets put on the singing course and he's with her and they're singing. And he gets his aura about him again.
Yeah, you can start seeing his smile come back.
And
see the life come back into him because he's a shell of a man.
Yeah, and then in his head, he sings a lot. So it's hard to distinguish between what's in his head and what's actually happening.
Yes,
but I like that. I do like that because
it was confusing, but it had a purpose.
It had a purpose. Now the issue is, the further through the film you get,
it tapers off. Just goes.
It's not that it tapers off. It just instead of it, because it felt like it went from nothing. Then you had the lift where he was singing, and he was getting better. He was getting better, and then it kind of stable, but it just kept doing the same thing. It didn't change. And I thought character development, it built a bit, and it stayed the same.
So there's quite a few points that I've put down so we can read off. Straight from the opening, the first scene, like where the
cartoons.
Thought was brilliant.
Yeah. So
it got us really excited.
Yeah.
Loved it when he was fighting with his shadow.
Yeah.
Loved it the way everything just worked out. The Murray stage that he was on, I thought that was going to play a big part in it. My first initial thought from watching was he was going to get out. And him and Harley were going to be a duo, and then, like I said before, with the set like his gang leader, like his gang members, thought they were it's going to base into that. That's when I'm watching with the Murray show, thought he was going to take over like the Murray stage that he killed Murray on.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's in the first initial opening.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to take over, and he's going to be untouchable, and Gotham was going to go into chaos, and obviously then Batman would be able to be introduced. And Joker would be the big villain of Batman, in the games and that. I know it's far-fetched for a movie, but that's what I wanted to see when I was seeing that opening.
Yeah.
And that's where I thought I was going to take it. The songs pissed us off. I didn't hate every single song because there was quite a few songs like the scene in...
Oh, when the Saints come.
That was
I like
good.
That.
But when he was in court and he started thinking that he's singing in his head, and he killed that guy with the stool.
Okay, I think that's a separate... Right, so,
but the songs itself, it got so far through, it kind of bored us. And I went far forward there, so...
No.
Good.
Thing is...
I just want to give you my initial thoughts straight away.
Yeah.
Talk about the bullet points.
Yeah. To be fair, the bullet points are just there to help remind us on certain things. Now, instead of just rambling, which we will end up doing...
Yeah.
Structure it. What did you like? Now, not what you thought was going to happen.
Okay.
What did you like? So first of all,
the cinematic I loved.
100%. So that's one thing I was going to say. In terms of the cinematic of the film, it's dark, it's gritty, it's real.
And when the light comes in,
it really comes in.
Like that scene that I was talking about when he started the Joker singing.
Yeah.
Brilliant scene.
I agree.
Loved it.
Yeah, to be fair, up to now, I'm going to be honest with you, that scene where he starts and it's really dark and you have that light on him, then it starts to light up when it gets red and then he hits, that is the best scene in that whole film. That everything about the film and that encapsulates Joker is that.
That perfect scene when it just flashes to him and he stood there with the mic like
Yeah,
that. Mate, I fell in love.
that is the most perfect scene I've seen represent a Joker on the live screen. However, the other 2.5 hours.
Aye.
Now, I said something downstairs, which was, it's the most realistic version
That could be the Joker.
of a Joker and Harley that we will see. That's not emphasised to be like a comic book. It's what would happen in real life, and I really do like that aspect of it. I really like at the beginning where he is, like you've said, he's a shell of a man. He's really skinny. He's not himself. He's very much Arthur Fleck.
Yeah.
He's very much Arthur.
Yeah.
And he's like just inside himself. He's not laughing.
Doesn't smile.
Doesn't smile. Doesn't
even
really
tell
react.
a joke.
The guards are having his absolute life. That
they're
they're
bullying
making him. Yeah, they're bullying him. Another inmate comes in and says, "Apparently you go kiss her." He kisses the bloke to get a cigarette,
And he just lets it go.
yeah. So for me, I like the fact that he goes from that back to building his confidence, back to becoming the character and the facade of the Joker. And you see, there's a scene where he stops as Arthur and he just pulls his hair back.
Yes.
And you can just tell that goes from him being Arthur
to the Joker.
To him being the Joker.
Yes, and I thought that's when he's in court, isn't it? And he fires.
And he fires his
brilliant scene as well.
His lawyer and kisses her goodbye.
Yeah, but when he slicked his hair back and just looked up, I think it was because of. Isn't that the scene before he kills everybody? In his head. As after, because he has that thought, doesn't he?
He has the thought. He has his thought. Then he comes up, does his hair,
and goes
and then fires up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that whole segment there was like that whole section.
That whole section's really good.
Was really good.
I think that. So this word's going to be a bit strange, and I don't think you're going to agree with me on this one. And I don't know how you felt by it. I really, really like the ending. I knew you were going to feel different. I really like it.
Right, so I like what they're doing for future, and it was the killing joke.
Yeah.
Him dying, just like that, and there was nothing else. Like I would have liked to seen him out, or scheming to get out, if you know what I mean. There was none of that. But the fact that they're bringing that other guy in as the Joker.
Well, it's not saying they are.
I know, but he's got the laugh.
But he was laughing.
He scars his face.
He cut his face open like the Joker, and then he had the laugh at the end. And he did say he was a psychopath, not a clown. And the Joker is a psychopath.
Yes.
So that's the things I liked. You go over the things you liked. I think we both agree on the courtroom scene. We both agree on that bit.
Brilliant.
Is there anything else that you would say you really liked? And then if there is, I've got 2 more things I want to touch on, and then we'll talk about what we didn't like.
Okay. I like the scene when, after he fired his lawyer, and he became his own lawyer, and he got Mr. Puddles in.
Yeah.
Thought it was quite funny.
To change the voice and stuff.
I liked how he changed his voice and he started making it as a joke.
Yeah.
I did like that. I liked that scene. I liked Harley Quinn in it, but I didn't. So I'll touch on both sides after we start on. But I liked her because it was the psychoticness of her, and when you think of Harley Quinn, like she checked herself in just to meet him, and then checked herself out and made a backstory that wasn't true. She played him.
Yeah.
But it was all for a reason, because she wanted the Joker. I like that little section of it, but obviously there's other parts I don't like about it, so I'll talk about it later. I did like when he was in the courtroom and she didn't enter, and he was looking for her. And then when she came in, she lit up.
The button. Yeah.
It was like he needed that to get back to the Joker, if you know what I mean. When they were in Arkham, the overhead shot of Arkham looked brilliant.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
and Gotham, the overhead of Gotham looked
really
amazing.
Good. Yeah.
But when they were in Arkham, if you through the games, I know we're going to the games and it's a lot more, like they can do a lot more, but I would like to see this on like the big screen. I think they should have put more hints or drops or teasers somewhere. Like if you go through like Arkham on the games, the Asylum on the games, you can't turn a corner without seeing a drop. If you know what I mean, an Easter egg or anything like that.
Yeah.
So obviously other villains that would eventually come into the movie, if you know what I mean. So like obviously, when you go through, you see Black Skull. You see in one, I think it's Arkham Asylum, the Batman game.
So the only thing with that is this Joker is a standalone universe in the DC,
I know.
and it's standalone. And I think on the last one where they mentioned Thomas Wayne and Bruce Wayne, that didn't sit good with me on the first one.
See, I like little teasers like that.
No, but what have they done with it?
Oh no, but
They've done nothing with it. I like the fact that they've just brought in Joker and Harley, and they have hinted towards
Harvey
Two-Face, Harvey Dent. However, again, I'm not the best at spotting Easter eggs on the first time round. I did spot two. There could be little sneak things in there that we haven't noticed on the bottom of the TV when the news is going across. We might have spotted something there, or when they walk past, there's little writings on the wall. There's lots of stuff that we might not have spotted. I'm quite happy it wasn't obvious for stuff like that. Harvey Dent was to people that know, but if you didn't know,
you wouldn't have known.
You wouldn't have went. That's Two-Face.
You wouldn't have looked for him after the explosion.
So, exactly, my brother, who's never probably physically watched a DC movie and understood it, if he watched it, he wouldn't know Harvey Dent was Two-Face, and when the explosion went off, the fact he had a mark down his face, he wouldn't have went, "Oh, that's Two-Face."
Changed the size though, didn't he? Of his face.
No, I'm thinking Dark Knight Rises though.
Dark Knight Rises, that's what I meant.
It's like that on his face, and then he turns his head, so it's on that side. His normal face is there, and his bad face is there.
I'm not sure it's the other side, you know.
I think we'll close this video now, because I think we've been talking for half an hour, and we mainly spoke about good things in the courtroom and certain things. To be fair, so when the lawyer told him that she was there by herself and left by her, like she just left when she wanted to.
Yeah, that song in his head.
It moved to the song where they were singing, and she shoots him. So the way he was feeling at the time was so let down, so hurt by her, it felt like he'd been shot. Yeah. I thought that was a very well planned scene.
Tell you what is another really good scene. The Harley and Joker show.
Mm-hmm.
And they're coming out singing, and she turns her head when she's singing to him, sings to the crowd instead of him.
And turns away.
Yeah, and says, sings that she loves him, but she turns away, and his face when I was like, oh.
Yeah. Jay just said, you find out that Harley has a degree, so what if she uses that to get into the hospital as the doctor to find the real Joker, the one who stabbed him, and that's when she is Harleen, and she might be a proper Harley with him, because she isn't pretending as he's an actual psycho. Also, he cuts his face like Heath Ledger's Joker, or maybe the new one like Barry played in the Batman. He has scars too. Maybe just a thought.
Oh my god! I so hope to do that.
That's it's not going to happen, but that'd be amazing.
Be absolutely brilliant. That.
Imagine if that's like a backstory for Heath Ledger's Joker. No, it can't be though, because it would have been thingied up like he's a copycat.
Oh yeah.
But that's still a really cool thing.
Right. They get on about Affleck's abusive, physically and sexually assault when he was younger, and how he got put back into the same household where it happened with his mother, who was the lady who physically and sexually assaulted him.
Yeah.
Then they talk about that. He starts. I think that's when he kicks off in the thingy and takes over. He takes a Joker role, doesn't he? And he starts acting like the Joker again in the courtroom, and then he insults the prison guards on live TV. He calls them fat and worthless or something, isn't it? And bullies. Bullies, and he tells them it's when he's talking to the puddle guy, isn't he?
Mm-hmm. And
he says, "You're exactly like them." Blah 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 blah, and then he goes to when he's going back to Arkham, and the prison guards grab a hold of him and they're brain into him, they're flinging him about, and he doesn't understand why they're upset. So
I think he does.
Aye. But then he starts mocking them, and they take him into the shower room. They hit his head off the parcel.
Well, they hit his head off the wall first.
Aye.
Pull him in. They hit him off the urinal. Then they put a wet cloth over his face to wipe the makeup off.
Tell him to stop acting we know you're not.
Yeah, and
then this is
a strange bit.
Yeah, so obviously, because of the scene we've just seen about his mum assaulting him and that, Then he gets stripped down naked by the guards, pinned on the floor.
But the thing is, he's not fully naked.
I know, but if you looked on when they're pulling him out, I'll explain after I explain what I'm going to explain. So they pin him on the floor. His clothes are torn off. We don't see his underwear come off, and the next scene he has them on, so we're not sure. But after that, he changed from the Joker back to Arthur, and I think
it's like reliving the
So it's took him out of. It's reminded him that everything's happening to him not because he's the Joker, because he's Arthur. That's my take on it.
Yeah. No, I say, yeah. For me, I'll be honest with
you. When he got pulled out,
I really didn't like that scene. It made me so uncomfortable. I mean, I'm sure
it made me uncomfortable.
It makes you so uncomfortable.
But to me, it suited the purpose for the Joker. Wait, I didn't like it after that. I did not like it, but I didn't like how he went back to being a simp for Harley. But when they're pulling him out and they fling him in the thingy, and everybody's like, "What have you done to him?" If you look at the back of his legs, just below his arse cheeks, it's all bruised.
It might have been just hit or whatever.
I don't know. It didn't sit well because it made us uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Initially.
I'm uncomfortable speaking about it now. Never mind even that.
It made us uncomfortable initially, but then it was the fact that he was laying in the cell. They were all trying to amp him up by singing, what's it? The Martian.
Oh, when the Saints come marching in. Oh, when the
Saints come marching in. So he's lay on his bed like he's got nothing left in him. Mm-hmm. Like he's drained of life. Like he's, and then he goes back into court, and he starts to sit down as the Joker.
Yeah.
And he goes to tell some jokes, and the thing he shuts him down.
Did you notice he sat down, and he was about to, and it cuts to sing back to the prison guards. It shows them staring at the TV. It then turns the camera, points it at the TV, zooms in, and then it goes back to the court, and he goes, "I was gonna be the Joker, and I was gonna go on a shout, and I was gonna shout at everyone, but I'm not. I'm Arthur, and I did do this." And he kind of just went, and all the walls come down.
And that's why I think what they've done to him in the shower room, whatever happened in there, it's broken.
Yeah.
Sent him back down to not care. He'd just kill us.
Yeah, I really do not like that scene. It makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah,
but I did say in the first one, if you look at the first one, I did say it should have had a trigger warning on it.
Oh yeah.
But anyway, in closure, very quickly, no thinking, rate out of 10, from 1 to 10, go.
6.
Yeah, I'm a 6.
6.
I'm a 6. I agree. I don't think
it's not a terrible movie.
I don't think it's a terrible movie. I don't think it's a great movie. I think it's a bit of an in-between. But then, at the same time, probably in a very upcoming video, we might come back to how we feel about it, if our opinion has changed. I
will watch it again.
Just to make sure. Yeah, 100%.
And
But like I say, for now, it's a 6. I think that overall, it's a beautiful looking movie. I do like the cinematography in it.
No,
I feel like
the cinematic was brilliant.
The way the use of colour, is like I say, the opening scene when it opens up and it's got a green tinge, go towards the Joker head, go towards what you would think for the Joker, and then it has little purples and bright. I really do like the way that they use the colours. I think I need a couple of days to reflect on it.
Yeah,
so,
and that's what I'm saying. I will look over it again, and I will watch YouTube videos on it to see if I can catch bits that we've missed. Mm-hmm. And
maybe I think we'll have a very small segment in a podcast coming up soon, just to reflect on it.
In all honesty, though, I do think it was a bit of a long movie. I don't think
it felt like by the end you were like, oh, come on.
I just heard
like just either survive or die. But anyway, I think that wraps up our conclusion onto the Joker 2. If you've seen it, what was your reaction to it? What's your thoughts? Leave in the comments below.
Thank you. We'll see you in the next one.
Don't forget, like and subscribe. See you in the next one, guys. We hope to see you next week.
Like and subscribe.